Hello everybody, and today we're gonna do an iceberg video. And yes, I'm a VTuber, shut up. Okay, I was saying earlier that we're gonna do iceberg. I already did this iceberg, but my own account got deleted, so 10 years of content forever lost. So yeah, I gotta do a video in the future how I became lost media and what videos I lost, because I remember pretty much all of them, and at least the most important ones, at least personally, managed to recover them. So not a big defeat per se. But yeah, we gotta talk about the iceberg of the religion, the occult, mysticism, esotericism, cults, etc. Right? I'm not gonna do Christian at the Christian Iceberg because there are already channels doing that. There's this great channel called Wendigo who did multiple iceberg videos. He already did about occults and like the Bible, like iceberg about the Bible and Christianity, etc. So I'm not gonna focus too much on that. So I recommend his videos. Well, yeah, as I gotta do other religions, there are all well known and not so well known. Although sadly there are certain religions that I would like to see they make an iceberg about it, but sadly they never did. So I gotta make my own made up one like I did last time. So let's start with Hinduism. And also, before we even start, we gotta only focus about the abyss, the bottom, the lowest of the low, the point of no return. So, what is the most secret, most forbidden, unknown knowledge within Hinduism? Kali Yuga accelerationism. If you don't know, Kali Yuga is a god, and the Kali Yuga is considered like the final age before like the apocalypse, before the cycle begins anew. And basically, people believe in accelerationism and want to accelerate, certain process. Like for example, in the left-wing accelerationism, they want to accelerate the disastrous nature of capitalism to create a revolution. Like yes, destroy the planet. Yes, do all these horrible things so we can accelerate the revolutionary potential of the people to overthrow the system. So they trying to do the same thing with the Kali Yuga accelerationism, that they want to accelerate the destruction of the universe so we can start a new age. Yeah, pretty much that's about it. Another thing about Hinduism, they have hell. Yeah, when people think about Hinduism and Buddhism, they think of reincarnation. Yes, it is true they do have reincarnation, but they do have heaven and hell. But unlike the Christian or Islamic version, which is a permanent place you go, it is a temporary place. Although within certain sects and denomination, it is permanent, and in certain sects, you can stay there permanently if you achieve enlightenment or moksha. But for the average person, you go there temporarily, and some will last to trillions of years. So yes, both Hinduism and Buddhism and even Jainism have hell. They have a place of torture, of eternal damnation, like the Christian. So people are trying to romanticize if the religion is like better. No, they are no different from the Western counterpart. And hell, even Taoism has a form of hell, and they have a secretary and stuff for demons. So yeah, Taoism. You have multiple demons inside your body. Yes, it is acceptable within certain Taoist tradition that not only you have a soul, but you also have certain demons inside of you as part of a harmony with the Tao. You have both good and bad, so you have both a soul and a demon. In some sects, in a literal sense, like you have a demon inside of you. But it's not as a bad thing like the Christian or the Islamic, which is like you being possessive with the exercise. No, that's just part of nature. Right? There's nothing to be, flabbergastic about for the most part. Real life Lovecraftian religions. Yeah, that's the thing. H.P. Lovecraft, the creator of the Lovecraftian horror and basically the founder of cosmic, psychological, existentialist, nihilist horror, with his works like The Mountain of Time, The Mountain of Madness, Call of Cthulhu, The Dream Quest of Arnold Katav, etc. There are people who actually believe that these things exist or worship to some extent, or something similar to the Lovecraftian legends. The universal people. this is not religion. This is the idea that originally started by Daniel Brown with his book Universal, where he believed there's something that is universal to everything, that every single human has something in common regardless of their distance. To some extent, this is correct. But if we talk about the religious side and the spiritual and the stuff like that, no, this is completely false because we have various indigenous culture that have they are atheists. They have no concept of a god in their culture, or they either agnostic or at best a Epicurean form of deism, where they do have some form, like if you stretch it enough, some form of a god-ish being, but it's so far distant that you don't care. They rather live without it anyway. So they're still practically atheists. Like the Bihara people, some indigenous people in Sri Lanka, certain tribes in the of the Pygmy people of Africa, certain indigenous people in Mexico and Greeks. Like there are intersect of indigenous people who are atheists and Gnostics, or in a very vague sense, deists. So this is completely false historically. It's the same thing. It's also the same when like everywhere in the world we are anarchist communists, and nowhere in which culture we have always been anti-hierarchy for the most part. It wasn't until 12,000 years ago when hierarchy was first introduced and ruined everything basically. I feel bad when I found like certain icebergs about the occult, religion, esoteric, mysticism and stuff, because there are certain mention in the very bottom which is not true. They feel bad. Like the Atuaria Society. It's a UFO religion. Created by George King, who claimed to have contact with extraterrestrial beings called the Cosmic Masters. I just wonder if these people who suffer from mental health believing that their delusions are based on actual experiences, or they're trying to do it for the money like L. Hell Robert for Scientology. But yeah, although we don't know how many members are in this group, all we know they believe they're aliens, and and they use cosmic masters are Jesus, Lao Tzu, and the Buddha. And Krishna is from Sander apparently, of cosmic hierarchy in the planetary councils. Yeah, they try to mix basically the four major religions. And believe they are reincarnated based off laws of karma, and you can use yoga and like stuff like that. At least they support the environment. At least that's the only good thing I could say about this group. And if we ignore the white supremacy elements within it, because there's a lot of racism within the belief, so yeah, just be careful if you ever decide to join this group. Next one is the final understanding. This is the very bottom of conspiracy theory iceberg, which doesn't mean nothing. Literally, this is just made up for the iceberg. Seriously, I did my research. That is just made up. And even if you go like existentialist and nihilist icebergs, which is just nothing matters, and the very body is nothing matters. Everybody will die and be forgotten, or some will say terrifying like you are internal, you are God, which you will always exist even if you don't want to. And even if we go like existentialist route of the scientific side, like the heat death of the universe, uh, Goddess incompleteness theorem, or quantum immortality, or the digital physics, which technically is kind of true. Everything in the universe is semi-digital, so not fully digital, but so yeah, but still like nothing interesting per se when you really think about it. Christianity and Krypton. If you know Superman, the comic, he from Krypton, and yeah, this is true. There is a religion in the Kryptonians, which is basically Christianity. Not the same thing. They believe basically the sun, and they believe in a singular being. So it has many similarities to Christianity. And in many cases, throughout the early years of Superman, instead of saying "Oh God," he will say like, "Oh Krypton," "Oh Krypton," or it's the name of the solar deity. The most biblical accurate depiction of the apocalypse is an American Dad. No, I will say that much. That is not true. The 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 apocalypse, according to the biblical Christians, is literally state that God will commit basically a giant massacre. If blood will be there will be so much blood that will melt mountains. So yeah, God is going to commit genocide. The same thing with the Hindus when the final avatar of Krishna, if the or Vishnu, sorry, that will commit genocide against every single people ever. So he's gonna commit mass murder before the end of the world. So yeah, Jesus died from a broken heart. This is the idea that basically originated in the internet, that Jesus died not because of the crucifixion, which is stupid, it's an execution thing, but for the heartbreak of the betrayal. There's possibly that he wasn't part of the prophecy and he actually betrayed them and disobeyed God's will, believing that, and that's why he died from a heartbreak. Basically, like, you know, Anakin and Padme died from heartbreak because Anakin turned to the dark side and became Darth Vader. Next, we have Valley of Hinnon, also known as Genana. It's basically a location in Jerusalem which has important significance in the Bible. This is where the king of Judah sacrificed their children by fire, according to the book of Jeremiah. Basically, that's about it. That and also into rabbinic literature of rabbinic Judaism, this is the destination for the wicked. It's not the same as hell per se, but it's a place where the bad people go. So unlike the original Judaism, which they don't believe in the afterlife, although they do believe the resurrection of the dead in the end of the days, where the dead will come back, but there is no afterlife while they're dead, or Sheol, which is a neutral place where both good and bad people go. In some interpretation, but it's often been interpreted as a literal place you go when you die, which is based on Mesopotamian mythology. Heaven and Hell and Rastafarianism. Rastafarianism is an African religion that originated in Jamaica. It's it's well known for, the weed religion by Bob Marley. So what is heaven and hell for them? For them, hell is Jamaica, and heaven is Ethiopia. I shit you not. Like they believe when you die, you go to Ethiopia, and if that's heaven, like if you're worthy to go to Ethiopia, if you're a bad person, you stay in Jamaica. It's like that meme from like when you're a fetus and you pray, please, I don't want to be French, and you were born as a French person. You scream no. The appearance of Barzakh. Barzakh is purgatory for Islam, a place between hell and heaven. And according to like appearance of Barzakh, which, okay, it's only been mentioned 3 times in the Quran. So that's about it. And there's nothing important. Like if you have a stereotypical view, what purgatory is basically what he's talking about. Although they do have some distinctions, like oceans is distinct from a river, like solid fresh water, are intermingled at times. So yeah, there you go. I literally had nothing else to say. It's just purgatory. And like the bottom of the iceberg for Islam is just the appearance and the voices of Allah, prophets. What Muhammad saw will make you cry, which doesn't mean anything. It's just he already saw heaven and hell and Allah Himself in the face. So come on, and we already have facial depictions of the Prophet and the God before, like up to a certain, like the fifth or fourth caliph came in to try to make it fatwa for depicting the Prophet. So it's like it's not that interesting. Like, and also the voice of Jibril. If you don't know who Jibril is in Islam, that's the angel Gabriel who gave his first revelation. So yeah, that is like what his voice sound like. That's about it. and the taste of Jana's food. Jana is basically heaven for Islam, and what food is just grapes. Yeah, this is for the most part like the bottom of the iceberg of everything that isn't related to Christianity for the most part. I want to explore like Greek and Egyptian mythology, but there's already videos about that, so that would be repetitive on my part. So yeah. Oh yeah, the taste of the Jana's taste like I already mentioned grape, but also rashness or not raspberry like radish or something I can't pronounce that word, but yeah, it's also tastes like that. So yeah, that's all I had to say for now. Actually, I had nothing else to add. I only want to talk about the most obscure deep town bottom iceberg. Well, wait. I just remember one thing. If you're more interested of the occult, mysticism, esoteric, secret, forbidden knowledge of secret society, what is the most obscure bottom of the world? So there is what is called the rainbow body. This is in Tibetan Buddhism, in the bed where you can achieve rainbow body, which is a form of enlightenment when you get achieved before while you're still alive. There are many ways, that you have to repeat the basic elements of Tibetan teaching, and basically minimalist. Don't be an asshole. Be an introvert. That's about it. Actually, that is not that much. And like the weakest form is like you still technically die, but your body shrinks in such a small size that it's like a miracle. Even though all bodies shrink to some extent, so that's not really a miracle. And two, the more advanced final, you just straight up disappeared. Like just vanish from existence, and you achieve pure enlightenment with the Buddha. The only thing left behind is your fingernails. And sometimes, if you're even so advanced, not even that, nothing left behind. Although all the stories about that has been debunked, because all the people claim to have achieved that type of enlightenment, we see their dead corpse rotting. So yeah, not true. There's the Akashic Records, which is again originated by a Freemason named Rudolf Camper, who created the Theosophy Society, which laid the foundation of esoteric fascism and Nazism. So yeah, that they believe that everything in the universe, past, present, future, can be achieved in an invisible library. And there's a book how to read the Akashic Record, how to achieve that. So I read that. Pretty boring to be honest. How to achieve it, and again, they're not real. There's also the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is self-explanatory. It's about the Tibetan Buddhism, what it's like when you die before you reincarnate, like in between reincarnation cycle and the afterlife. So yeah, and there's that. Yeah, I got nothing. Like that's it. Like if you want to learn the absolute secrets of secret society, occultism, mysticism, esotericism, enjoying the highest degree in Freemasonry, which is the third degree Master Mason, or want to join the Scottish Rite with the 33rd degree, just read the book How to Read the Akashic Records, read Ethics Demonstrated in Geometrical Order by Spinoza, and The Matter is Simple to Search the Unconscious by Carl Jung, and that's it. There you go. And then for the Hindus, their Prachanta, which is the first esoteric occult Hindu text ever and laid the foundation of spiritual yoga. There's the Dependent Buddha Dead, and there's the Godara Tantric, which is like the sex yoga thing in Tibetan Buddhism. There's that, and in Taoism you had the Swanshui, like the in my dream of a butterfly, that metaphor from that book. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thank you everybody. Watch this video, wasted your time. So bye.